Hello everybody, and welcome to the Green Thumb Alliance channel, where we'll be talking gardening and flowers and plants and all other things horticultural. Today we're going to do a bit of tour of some of the flower beds and that. Early spring here. Rhubarb is looking good, coming up nice. No sign of, oh no, I'm wrong, a little sign of some asparagus just starting to come up. Asparagus is something that is a very long-term crop. Takes forever to multiply and gain any size, but if you like it, it's worth it. Alright, head around the corner here to our starting bed. A little bit of a mess yet. Redone from a large perennial bed the last few years. We've got 3 rows of freshly planted multiplier onions in here right now because we ran out of space in our little vegetable patch here at the house. We do have a larger vegetable garden, but it's a bit more of a walk, so nice to have some stuff right near the house where you can just walk out and pick. Some perennials here that I've already divided this spring, set out in the rows there for future sales consideration. We've got some small hosta here, varieties Royal Standard, and then we got some Bachelor Button or Mountain Bullet, and I can zoom in here, some variegated zebra grass. And then we've got some lemon yellow daylilies. We've got a bunch of shrub cuttings I'm trying out here. Some juniper, variegated boxwood, roses, spirea, mock orange, and some snowball tree there as well. So I'll keep you up to date on the progress on that, and we're expanding, redoing the bed there, and we'll head over and redoing a lot of flower beds this year. Been kind of fallen into disrepair, so this is a redone shade bed under a large jack pine. And this will be mostly hosta, but you can see we've got a fairly large bleeding heart in there right now, getting ready to flower. We've got some hosta that were in the bed before we prepped it, that we pulled out to replant. Try to get that done today if the weather holds out. And we got a lamium here. This particular lamium is called Archangel, and it's a yellow flowering variety, and it stays really compact. It doesn't trail all over the place like a lot of other lamiums do, so it's quite nice. Going to try to divide it up. Then we've got our little at-home vegetable garden here. We've got a couple of grafted apple trees there and there. They're on their 3rd year now since buying them. Unfortunately, I was a little late getting my wire mesh around here this winter to protect from the rabbits. So you can see the rabbits kind of took a chunk out of the trunk. Did some damage there, but I got lucky. They didn't chew everything up all the way around and kill out the trees. So everything's budding out again. So hopefully we'll get into some pruning with these guys this year, and maybe some cuttings for the cutting bed too. Try that. This bed here will be tomatoes. We've got lettuce at this end. Again, things that can just walk out of the house and cut or pick and bring in fresh. Now this lettuce is from seed. Simpson Elite and Grand Rapids varieties, regular leaf lettuce, cut and come again. And these are about, not quite 2 weeks old. Here, planted about 3rd week of April. They're a cool weather crop, so they don't mind this cool, wet weather. And we've got some single green onions coming up in here. Kind of hard to tell the difference between it and twitchgrass, but these are onions. You can see the bulbs in that there. So they're coming along nicely. We bought those because we couldn't find any multipliers at the time. Ended up getting some bagged multipliers at the Home Depot. But hard to find good multiplier onions in that. The regular green onions are probably only going to produce small singular onions, where a single bulb with a multiplier will produce anywhere between 6 and a dozen green onions for fresh eating. That bed there still needs to be worked over and redone, so we'll come back to it in a later show. Here's our front flower bed, which we started redoing last year, going from an annual bed, normally in patience or geraniums or something of that nature, to all perennials. Large red maple, Crimson King here, coming out in flower. A lot of people don't realize that maple trees do bloom. I'm having a hard time getting the camera to focus on that because of the wind. It's a cool day here today. Still doesn't want to focus. But that'll be a nice dark red maple when it's all out in leaf. And we've got a series of different dwarf bearded iris around the perimeter of the bed. We've got a flowering lugwort here, which you've seen a bit of close-up in past videos. A perennial bamboo, just starting to send up new sprouts. And we've got a little primrose. I haven't had too much luck with primrose. They come back 2 or 3 years and then seem to peter out. Tender in our zone here. We're a zone 5B here. Sometimes we get good snow cover, sometimes we don't. Some Monarda bee balm. Nice lupin there. There's a little coral bell, another thing that I haven't had much luck with. Haven't decided whether I want to keep trying different varieties of those or not. We have also got a lot of evening primrose around the border, which is a nice lemon yellow flower in the summer, and then the foliage turns bright fire red in the fall. And very similar to our rhubarb down on the main run, this is an ornamental rhubarb. So we'll be documenting that growth through the summer. Some forget-me-nots. There's a few different varieties of forget-me-nots. This particular variety here is a blue-flowered variety that's not quite as heavy flowering as a lot of forget-me-nots, but also a lot less aggressive. Columbine and some burgundy leaf euphorbia, a red phlox, and some stonecrop sedum, some peonies that we transplanted last year. More bleeding hearts there. These are coming out a little further along than the ones in the shade bed, just because this is getting a lot more sun. And some Solomon seal coming up. That's a very large Solomon seal, almost 3 feet tall at maturity. There is another type of euphorbia. That's a cushion spurge, or gopher purge mole plant. Supposed to be very inedible to moles and gophers, and that's supposed to repel them from your flower bed. Kind of semi-perennial here. You can see it took the winter pretty rough, but it is all starting to come out in new growth again, so that'll be a big thick one by the end of the year. and some fairly rare herb. This is lovage, very much like celery. And we got a big perennial geranium there, some garlic flavored chives. See if I can zoom in here a little better on the flowers on the bleeding hearts there. And that's kind of a bit of a running tour of what we've got going on in that perennial bed. And then we've got another one here just freshly under revamp again. So we'll be following the progress on that one as well. And then we've got along the front of the house quite a good collection of daffodils, just about finished now. I've seen an earlier video there where they were out pretty good. Now I've been trying some hosta along here with mixed success, some irises with not too much success. I think they're going to come out this year. Try something else. I do have a very nice hydrangea here that's coming up really good, both from the base and along the stems. Have a hard time with winter kill on a lot of the more exotic hydrangeas. This one is one of the ones that you can change, Annabelle variety, that will go from pink to blue or various shades in between depending on the acidity of your soil. And then this particular one here is a fire and ice style hydrangea, and it's a little later leafing out, but you can again, I'm having trouble with the focus on this, but you can kind of see the buds starting to come out along the stems there. And then we've got a good run of hosta all the way down the side of the house here. So I think I've blabbered on long enough for this video. We'll see you next time. In the meantime, like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.